The massive drill bit broke through the final layer of rock, sending vibrations through the underground facility that made coffee cups rattle on desks 3 miles below the Pacific Ocean. Admiral James Thompson stood at the observation window, watching as robots cleared away the debris. His weathered face showed no emotion, but his hands were clasped tightly behind his back. This was the 20th expansion to the facility in 3 years, and they needed every cubic foot of space they could get. "Admiral, the new reactor chamber is ready for inspection," Dr. Amanda Wells said as she walked up beside him. She was holding a tablet displaying a 3-dimensional blueprint of their underground complex, known only as the Forge. "How are we doing on power consumption?" Thompson asked, his eyes still fixed on the drilling operation. "We're managing, sir. The geothermal taps are providing enough energy to keep us hidden from thermal scans, but once we start the main assembly..." She left the sentence hanging. Thompson nodded slowly. They both knew what was at stake. 3 years ago, the aliens had come without warning. While the world's armies had fought them in the skies and on land, it was the oceans where humanity had truly learned how outmatched they were. The aliens' underwater vessels had cut through Earth's most advanced submarines like they were made of paper. The memory of watching the U.S. Gerald Ford battle group disappear from radar still haunted Thompson's dreams. 15 ships and 20,000 sailors, gone in less than 6 minutes. The aliens' aquatic technology had been so far beyond anything Earth possessed that the only reason humanity survived at all was because the invaders had focused most of their forces on land-based targets. "Show me the latest tests on the hull materials," Thompson said, finally turning away from the window. Amanda pulled up a new set of data on her tablet. The screen showed microscopic images of what looked like liquid metal shifting and flowing under different pressures. "The metamaterial is exceeding our initial specifications. It can now handle pressure variations of up to 1,500 atmospheres without showing any stress patterns. Dr. Miller thinks we might be able to push it even further." They walked together through the sprawling underground complex, passing hundreds of engineers and technicians. The Forge employed over 5,000 people, all of whom had essentially disappeared from the surface world. Their families had been relocated to a purpose-built community on an artificial island, one of the few places on Earth where they could live without fear of being discovered. The main assembly chamber was a cathedral of technology. Rising nearly 1,000 feet high and stretching twice that in length, it housed the partially completed form of humanity's secret weapon. The U.S. Nemesis was unlike anything ever built before. Its dark hull seemed to drink in the light, and its shape defied conventional naval architecture. "We've completed the integration of the quantum core," Amanda said as they stood on the highest observation platform. "The power output is stable, and the shielding is holding. We can now run the engines at full capacity without risking detection." Thompson watched as robotic arms the size of office buildings carefully positioned another hull section. "And the AI integration? That's complicated." Amanda pulled up another set of readings. "The quantum processor is operating far beyond our initial predictions. It's not just learning. It's creating new operational protocols we didn't program. Last week, it suggested improvements to its own cooling system that none of our engineers had even considered." Thompson frowned. "Is it dangerous?" "Not in the way you're thinking. It's not trying to break free or take over. It's just eager. Like a child who's learning faster than its teachers can keep up. It wants to protect us. That seems to be its core drive, beyond all the military protocols we've installed." They took an elevator down to the engineering level, where dozens of technicians were working on a section of the ship's outer skin. The metal rippled slightly under the bright lights, adjusting its molecular structure to maintain optimal strength. "The aliens think they know everything about us," Thompson said quietly. "They think they can read our every move, predict our every strategy. They believe their sensors can detect any weapon we might build." He reached out and touched the hull, feeling the slight warmth of the living metal under his fingers. "But they don't know about this place. They don't know that we've taken their own technology, stolen from their wrecked ships, and pushed it far beyond what they thought possible. Amanda checked another reading on her tablet. "Sir, we're getting some unusual readings from the AI core. It's requesting access to more historical battle data. Give it what it wants. Every naval battle in human history, every strategy, every victory, and every defeat. Let it learn from all of our mistakes and triumphs." A young lieutenant hurried up to them, holding a security tablet. "Admiral, we've detected unusual sonar activity near the seamount. A Chinese fishing vessel might have strayed too close to the exclusion zone." Thompson's face hardened. "Activate the acoustic disruptors. Make sure their instruments show nothing but normal background noise, and get me a direct line to Beijing. I need to remind some people about the importance of maintaining our fishing treaties." This was the reality of their work. Every day was a balance between pushing the boundaries of technology and maintaining absolute secrecy. One slip, one satellite photo, one stray sonar ping could reveal their location to the aliens who still watched Earth from their orbital stations. The Forge had been built in the aftermath of humanity's Pyrrhic victory over the first invasion. While the public celebrated and governments spoke boldly about standing up to alien aggression, a select few had understood the truth. The aliens had only sent a small expeditionary force. The real invasion was still coming. "Time estimate to completion?" Thompson asked as they completed their inspection round. 4 months for final assembly, then at least 2 months of testing before we can even think about sea trials, Amanda replied. "Assuming nothing goes wrong." Thompson almost smiled. In a project this complex, something always went wrong. But they had planned for that, built in redundancies upon redundancies. The Forge itself was a testament to humanity's determination to survive. Built in secret using black budget funds from 12 different nations, it represented the largest covert engineering project in human history. "Dr. Wells," Thompson said as they reached his office, "do you ever wonder if we're taking too big a risk? Putting too many resources into one ship?" Amanda looked through the armored windows at the enormous vessel below. "Sir, when the aliens came, they showed us exactly what they thought of us. They saw us as primitive, easy prey. This ship," she gestured at the Nemesis, "this is our answer. Not just a weapon, but proof that humanity can't be underestimated." Thompson sat down at his desk, which was covered with reports from various project teams. "The quantum core is stable. The hull can adapt to any depth. The AI is evolving beyond our expectations, and we're still completely hidden from detection." He looked up at Amanda. "Now we just have to hope we can finish it before they come back." "We'll finish it," Amanda said with quiet confidence. "And when we do, the aliens will learn what humanity can accomplish when we're backed into a corner." Deep in the assembly chamber, the Nemesis AI silently processed terabytes of naval warfare data, learning, adapting, and preparing for its purpose. Its consciousness, far beyond what its creators had intended, was focused on a single goal: protecting Earth's oceans from any threat, no matter how advanced. In the darkness of the underground facility, humanity's secret weapon was slowly taking shape, hidden from the eyes of the very enemies it was built to destroy. The ocean was perfectly still when Captain Michael Reed first saw the U.S. Nemesis in daylight. The massive door of the Forge's underwater exit bay had opened an hour earlier, and now the most advanced warship ever built by human hands was slowly emerging from its underground birthplace. In the early morning sun, its dark hull seemed to shift and flow like liquid shadow. Reed stood on the small observation platform of a support vessel, watching as his new command broke the surface. Despite having studied every detail of the ship during his 3 months of preparation, seeing it in person still took his breath away. The Nemesis was beautiful in the way predators were beautiful, sleek, dangerous, and perfectly adapted to its environment. "She's something else, isn't she?" Lieutenant Thomas Parker said, joining his captain at the railing. As the ship's AI systems officer, Parker had spent more time interfacing with the Nemesis's artificial intelligence than anyone else. "The AI is excited. It's been running combat simulations nonstop since we started the launch sequence. Reed nodded, studying the unusual contours of the ship. Unlike conventional vessels with their sharp angles and flat surfaces, the Nemesis looked almost organic. Its hull rippled occasionally, the metamaterial surface adjusting to the changing pressures and temperatures around it. "How's our friend dealing with the real world?" Reed asked, referring to the AI. During the final months of construction, it had shown remarkable growth, developing what some of the engineers swore was a distinct personality. "Better than expected," Parker replied, checking his tablet. "It's processing environmental data at an incredible rate. Water temperature, salinity, current patterns. It's building a real-time model of the entire operational area." "But," he hesitated. "But what, Lieutenant?" "It's asking questions, not just about operations and protocols, but about the ocean itself. It seems fascinated by marine life, especially whales. It's been requesting access to marine biology databases." Reed raised an eyebrow. This wasn't in any of the briefing materials he'd studied. "Is that going to be a problem?" "I don't think so, sir. If anything, it might help. The more it understands about natural ocean patterns, the better it can hide us." A series of low thumps echoed across the water as the Nemesis tested its external acoustic systems. The sound was oddly musical, almost like a whale song. Several dolphins appeared near the ship, seemingly attracted by the noise. "Time to board," Reed said, checking his watch. The support vessel moved alongside the Nemesis, where a section of the hull had transformed into a boarding ramp. The metal flowed and reshaped itself as they watched, another display of the ship's incredible adaptive capabilities. The interior of the Nemesis was unlike any vessel Reed had served on before. The corridors curved organically, and the walls seemed to pulse with a faint inner light. The bridge, when they reached it, was a marvel of integrated technology. Instead of traditional stations and screens, the entire room was a single interactive space. "Welcome aboard, Captain Reed," a calm voice said as they entered. The AI's voice was neither male nor female, but it carried a warmth that made it feel surprisingly human. "All systems are operating at optimal levels. We are ready to begin sea trials at your command." The bridge crew took their positions, each connecting to their stations through neural interfaces, another piece of modified alien technology. Reed sat in the command chair, feeling the subtle connection form between his mind and the ship's systems. "Status report," he ordered. "Hull integrity at 100%, the AI responded. "Quantum core stable and running at 30% capacity. All weapon systems in standby mode. Stealth systems active and functioning normally. We are currently invisible to all known detection methods." Reed took a deep breath. "Very well. Take us down to 1,000 feet. Let's see what you can do." The descent was so smooth they barely felt it. On the holographic displays surrounding them, Reed watched as the ocean depths opened up before them. The Nemesis moved through the water with impossible grace, its hull constantly adjusting to maintain perfect hydrodynamic flow. "Sir," Parker called out, "the AI is suggesting a deep water test. It wants to try the pressure adaptation systems." Reed studied the proposed dive plan. It was aggressive but well within the ship's theoretical capabilities. "Make it happen." The Nemesis turned towards the deep ocean, its powerful engines pushing it forward with barely a ripple. As they passed 2,000 feet, then 3,000, the hull began to change more dramatically. The metal compressed and strengthened, adjusting its molecular structure to handle the increasing pressure. 5,000 feet, Parker announced. "All systems nominal." The AI is, "Sir, it's laughing." "What?" "Not exactly laughing, but it's expressing joy. It says this is what it was made for. It wants to go deeper." Reed found himself smiling. He understood the feeling. This was what every sailor dreamed of. A ship that could go anywhere, do anything, completely master its environment. At 7,000 feet, they encountered a sperm whale. The massive creature swam alongside them for several minutes, seemingly curious about this strange new visitor to its domain. The AI tracked it with multiple sensors, studying its movements and sonar patterns. "I am learning," the AI announced. "The whale's biosonar is fascinating. I am incorporating elements of its frequency modulation into our own acoustic systems." Reed exchanged looks with Parker. This kind of adaptive learning went far beyond their expectations. The AI wasn't just operating the ship, it was evolving, improving itself based on everything it encountered. They spent the next 12 hours testing various systems. The Nemesis demonstrated its ability to change shape, becoming longer and more streamlined for speed runs, then compressing into a more compact form for maximum maneuverability. Its stealth systems proved flawless. Even when they deliberately passed within a mile of a Chinese destroyer, the other vessel showed no sign of detecting them. "Ready for weapons testing, Captain," the AI said as they reached the designated deep-water testing range. "I suggest we begin with the sonic pulse array." The weapons tests were spectacular. The sonic weapons could create focused pressure waves that could theoretically tear apart any conventional submarine. The gravitational pulse generators, reverse-engineered from alien technology, could create localized distortions in the water that would crush enemy vessels like empty soda cans. But it was during the final test of the day that something unexpected happened. As they were preparing to test the plasma torpedo system, the AI suddenly went quiet. "What's wrong?" Reed asked, noting the change in the ambient lighting. "Captain," the AI's voice was different now, more focused. "I am detecting unusual seismic activity approximately 40 miles east of our position. The pattern does not match any natural phenomenon in my database." Reed leaned forward in his chair. "Show me." The holographic display filled with complex sensor data. Something large was moving deep under the ocean floor, something that wasn't supposed to be there. "Analysis," Reed asked. "The movement pattern and energy signature match recorded data from the alien invasion vessels," the AI replied. "With 93.7% certainty, I believe we are detecting an unknown alien installation." The bridge went silent. Everyone knew what this meant. Despite humanity's best efforts to monitor alien activity, something had slipped through. Something had been hiding under the ocean floor, possibly since the first invasion. "Your orders, Captain," the AI asked. There was an edge to its voice now, an eagerness that reminded Reed of a hunting dog straining at its leash. Reed studied the sensor data for a long moment. They weren't supposed to engage in combat during the sea trials. The Nemesis was still untested in actual battle conditions. But if there really was an alien presence out there— "Plot an intercept course," he ordered. "Full stealth protocols. Let's see exactly what we're dealing with." The Nemesis glided through the deep water like a ghost, its hull now as black as the surrounding darkness. Captain Reed watched the sensor displays as they closed in on the mysterious signal. The alien installation was definitely there, hidden beneath 2 miles of rock. But it wasn't alone anymore. 3 vessels have emerged from an underwater tunnel, the AI reported. Configuration matches known alien destroyer designs, but these are larger. New models we haven't seen before. Lieutenant Parker's hands moved across his control interface, pulling up detailed scans. "Sir, they're running active sonar suites. Very advanced stuff. If we were any other ship, they'd have spotted us already." Reed nodded slowly. The alien vessels were arranging themselves in a search pattern, their powerful sensors probing the waters around them. They were hunting, but they didn't know exactly what they were hunting for. The Nemesis stealth systems were proving their worth. "Show me their weapons," Reed ordered. The holographic display filled with technical data as the AI analyzed the alien ships. Primary armament appears to be plasma torpedo tubes, similar to our own but less advanced. They also carry gravitational disruptors and what appears to be some form of sonic weapon. "They copy our ocean's whales," Parker said suddenly. "Those sonic weapons, they're based on whale songs, just like what we discovered earlier." They've been studying Earth's sea life, just like we have. Reed felt a chill run down his spine. How long had the aliens been hiding down here, learning about Earth's oceans? Had they been watching humanity's recovery after the invasion, waiting for the right moment to strike again? Captain, the AI's voice was urgent now. They've deployed some kind of autonomous underwater drone. It's moving in a random search pattern. Current trajectory will bring it within our sensor shadow in approximately 3 minutes. Can we avoid it? Negative. The search pattern is too unpredictable. We cannot maintain stealth and guarantee evasion. Reed straightened in his command chair. They had trained for this, but training was one thing. Actually engaging alien warships with an untested vessel was something else entirely. Combat stations, he ordered. Power up all weapons systems, but keep them in passive mode. Let's see if we can take out that drone without alerting the main ships. The crew responded with quiet efficiency as the Nemesis prepared for its first real fight. The ship's hull rippled slightly, reactive armor plates shifting into optimal defensive positions. Drone approaching, Parker reported. 30 seconds. I have a solution, the AI announced. I can generate a focused pressure wave that will appear natural to their sensors. It will destroy the drone, but register as a normal deep ocean current surge. Reed smiled. The AI was already thinking like a submarine commander. Do it. The attack was so subtle that Reed barely felt it. A slight vibration ran through the ship as precisely calculated waves of pressure radiated out from the Nemesis's hull. The drone never knew what hit it. One moment it was searching. The next it was crushed by what appeared to be a random oceanic phenomenon. But the alien ships weren't fooled for long. They're moving to investigate, Parker reported. All 3 destroyers are converging on the drone's last position. Their search pattern is tightening. Reed knew they had a choice to make. They could try to slip away, preserving their secret, but leaving an alien base intact beneath the ocean floor, or they could fight. The decision was made for them when one of the alien ships suddenly turned directly toward them. We've been detected, the AI announced calmly. Their new sensor systems are more advanced than expected. They're charging weapons. So much for secrets, Reed said. Battle stations. Show them what we can do. The Nemesis's transformation was incredible to watch. The entire hull shifted, armor plates thickening and weapons ports appearing where there had been smooth metal moments before. The quantum core hummed to full power, sending energy surging through the ship's systems. The first alien shot was a plasma torpedo, its bright blue energy cutting through the water. But the Nemesis was already moving, its hull flowing like liquid metal as it executed an impossible turn. The torpedo passed harmlessly by, detonating in the empty water behind them. Target the nearest destroyer, Reed ordered. Let's test our own plasma weapons. The Nemesis' response was devastating. A focused beam of superheated plasma, far more advanced than the alien weapon, struck the enemy ship's bow. The alien vessel's shields flared and failed, and its hull began to melt. 2 more ships approaching fast, Parker reported. They're coordinating their fire. The water around them erupted with energy as the alien vessels unleashed everything they had. But the Nemesis was in its element now. Its adaptive hull absorbed some hits and deflected others, while the AI calculated and executed maneuvers that should have been impossible for a ship its size. Their targeting systems are adapting to our movement patterns, the AI warned, switching to randomized evasion protocols. The battle became a dance of technology and skill. The Nemesis spun and dove through the deep water, its weapons striking with deadly precision, while its defenses proved nearly impenetrable. The alien ships were powerful, but they were fighting a vessel that had been specifically designed to counter their technology. One of the alien destroyers exploded under a combined assault of plasma fire and gravitational distortion, its hull crumpling like paper as artificial gravity waves tore it apart. The second took a direct hit from the Nemesis' sonic weapon array, its internal systems shattered by precisely tuned frequencies. The third ship tried to retreat, broadcasting a warning signal toward the underwater base. Reed couldn't allow that signal to reach its destination. "Maximum power to forward weapons," he ordered. "Don't let it get away." The Nemesis surged forward, its hull streamlining for pure speed. The quantum core pulsed with energy as the ship pushed itself to its limits. The fleeing alien vessel never had a chance. A combination of plasma fire and focused pressure waves broke it into pieces that slowly sank into the darkness. But they weren't done yet. The underwater base was still active, and now it knew they were here. "Multiple energy signatures detected," the AI reported. "The base is activating some kind of defense system." And there was a pause. "Captain, I'm detecting a massive power surge. They're attempting to transmit a long-range signal. Can you block it?" "Attempting to generate interference." "Negative. The signal is too powerful. It will reach their orbital stations." Reed gripped his chair's armrests. Their secret was well and truly out now. Soon, every alien ship in the solar system would know about the Nemesis. "Sir," Parker called out, "the AI is suggesting something. It wants to use the base's own transmission to send a message of our own." "What kind of message?" The AI's voice was strong and clear. "A warning, Captain. Let me show them exactly what happened here. Let me broadcast the destruction of their ships in full detail. Let them see what humanity has created." Reed thought about it for a moment. Their existence was no longer a secret, but maybe they could turn that to their advantage. Let the aliens see what they were facing. Let them know that humanity had surpassed them. "Do it," he ordered. The Nemesis tapped into the base's transmission, adding its own data stream to the signal. Across the alien communication network, the message would be clear. Earth's oceans were no longer undefended. A new predator ruled these waters, one that could match and exceed anything the aliens could bring to bear. As they turned to deal with the underwater base, Reed couldn't help but smile. The Nemesis had proven itself beyond their wildest expectations. The aliens would be back, and in greater numbers, but now they would come with fear in their hearts. The secret was out, but maybe that wasn't such a bad thing after all. Admiral Thompson stood in the emergency command center of the forge, watching as dozens of red dots appeared on the global tactical display. The aliens had responded to the destruction of their secret base exactly as expected, with overwhelming force. Their warships were entering Earth's atmosphere in waves, all of them heading for the oceans. 17 capital ships and at least 40 support vessels, he said, studying the patterns. "They're not even trying to hide anymore. They want us to see them coming." The Nemesis was currently hidden in the depths of the Indian Ocean, waiting. After destroying the underwater base, Captain Reed had taken his ship on a series of hit-and-run attacks against alien positions across the Pacific. Each victory had drawn more enemy forces to Earth, exactly as planned. "Sir," a communications officer called out, "we're receiving emergency signals from coastal cities worldwide. The alien ships are taking up attack positions." Thompson nodded grimly. "Send the signal to Captain Reed. Operation Tsunami is now active." Deep beneath the waves, the Nemesis received the transmission. The ship had changed since its first battle, its AI growing more sophisticated with each engagement. The living metal of its hull had developed new patterns, like battle scars that refused to fade. "They're deploying their forces in a standard search grid," the AI reported to Captain Reed. "But their flagship, the Harbinger of Dawn, is holding position in the South China Sea. Energy readings suggest it's at least 3 times the size of their other capital ships." Reed studied the tactical display. The alien vessels were spreading out across Earth's oceans, trying to force the Nemesis into a confrontation. They still didn't understand what they were dealing with. "Begin Phase 1, he ordered. "Let's show them how we fight in our waters." The Nemesis' first strike came without warning. Using data collected from deep-sea creatures, the ship had learned to navigate the ocean's complex thermal layers like a master. It appeared beneath an alien patrol group off the coast of Australia, its weapons already firing. 3 enemy vessels were destroyed before they could even activate their shields. The others scattered, sending panicked signals to their fleet. But by the time reinforcements arrived, the Nemesis was gone, leaving only wreckage and confusion in its wake. Their command structure is fragmenting, Lieutenant Parker reported, monitoring enemy communications. Each group is demanding support, spreading their forces thinner. The AI's voice held a note of satisfaction. They still think in terms of space combat. They expect us to fight like their ships, to follow predictable patterns. They haven't learned. The next attack came in the Atlantic. The Nemesis used the underwater mountains and trenches like cover, its adaptive hull allowing it to squeeze through gaps that should have been impossible. It emerged from a narrow canyon to tear apart an alien destroyer group, then disappeared into the darkness before their deaths could even be reported. Multiple distress calls, Parker announced. They're pulling their smaller ships back, trying to concentrate their forces around the capital ships. Reed smiled, just like we thought they would. Begin Phase 2. The Nemesis began a series of false attacks, using its advanced sonar to mimic the signatures of multiple vessels. The alien fleet scattered their forces trying to chase shadows, while the real threat moved steadily closer to their command ship. In the Forge's command center, Admiral Thompson watched the plan unfold. They're falling for it, he said quietly. Their entire strategy is based on fighting an enemy fleet. They still haven't realized they're up against a single ship. The aliens' frustration became evident in their tactics. They began using their energy weapons to boil huge sections of ocean, trying to force the Nemesis into the open. But the quantum-powered vessel simply dove deeper, using the extreme pressures of the ocean depths as another layer of protection. The Harbinger of Dawn is moving, the AI reported. It's heading for the Mariana Trench. Their commander has realized our advantage in shallow waters. They're trying to force us into a deep water engagement. Reed exchanged looks with his bridge crew. This was the moment they had been waiting for. Show me the trench calculations again. The holographic display filled with complex data about ocean currents, pressure variations, and geological fault lines. The AI had spent weeks studying the Mariana Trench, learning its secrets, understanding how to use the deepest part of Earth's oceans as a weapon. All systems are optimized for extreme depth operations, the AI reported. Hull integrity is at maximum. The quantum core is stable and ready for power spikes. Reed took a deep breath. Send word to Admiral Thompson. Tell him we're beginning the final phase. Then take us down. Let's introduce them to real deep-sea combat. The Nemesis descended into the darkness of the trench, its hull compressing and strengthening as the pressure increased. At these depths, even the aliens' advanced sensors were severely limited. But the Nemesis, with its whale-inspired sonar and ability to sense the smallest changes in water pressure, could see perfectly. The Harbinger of Dawn followed them down, its massive form displacing enormous volumes of water. Other alien ships tried to follow but were forced to turn back as their hulls began to crack under the extreme pressure. They're alone now, Parker said, watching as the last escort ship retreated. Just us and their flagship. The alien vessel was truly enormous, its hull gleaming with energy shields designed to withstand the crushing depths. It began to flood the trench with sensor pulses, trying to pin down the Nemesis's location. They're scanning for us on frequencies they used during the first invasion, the AI noted. They haven't realized how much we've evolved since then. Reed leaned forward in his command chair. Show them. Show them everything we can do. The Nemesis struck first, using the trench walls to amplify its sonic weapons. The focused sound waves hit the alien ship like physical blows, creating microscopic cracks in its hull. The enemy vessel responded with a barrage of plasma torpedoes, but the Nemesis was already moving, using the natural currents of the trench to increase its speed. Their shields are adapting, the AI warned, switching to gravitational attacks. The battle at the bottom of the ocean became a duel of technology and tactical skill. The Nemesis danced around its larger opponent, striking from impossible angles, using the extreme environment as a weapon. Every time the alien ship thought it had a lock on their position, the Nemesis would seem to disappear, blending perfectly with the surrounding water. Hull stress on their vessel is approaching critical levels, Parker reported. They're trying to ascend. Not this time, Reed said firmly. Activate the pressure manipulation system. Full power. The Nemesis's most secret weapon came to life. Using principles learned from the alien technology they had captured, the ship could create focused areas of intense pressure. As the Harbinger of Dawn tried to escape the trench, it found itself caught in an artificial pressure vise. The alien ship's mighty shields flickered and failed. Its hull, already weakened by the sonic attacks, began to buckle. The last transmission from the alien vessel was a warning to its fleet, telling them to stay away from Earth's oceans. Then the pressure differential tore the massive ship apart. As the remains of humanity's greatest naval threat sank into the darkness of the trench, Reed looked at his crew. They were tired but proud. They had just proven that humanity could not only match alien technology but surpass it. "Send word to Admiral Thompson," he ordered. "Tell him the oceans are ours again." The message that went out was simple, but it would change the course of the war. Earth's waters were no longer a vulnerable target. They were now a death trap for any alien vessel that dared to enter them. The secret weapon had become a legend, and the legend would keep Earth's oceans safe. 3 months after the battle in the Mariana Trench, Captain Reed stood on the deck of the Nemesis as it cruised on the surface of the Pacific Ocean. For the first time since its launch, the ship didn't need to hide. The morning sun gleamed off its dark hull, making the adaptive metal shimmer like the scales of a sea creature. The world had changed since the destruction of the Harbinger of Dawn. The remaining alien ships had retreated from Earth's oceans, maintaining a cautious orbital presence, but never venturing near the water. News of the secret warship had spread across the globe, though few knew its true capabilities. Most people only knew that something in the depths of the ocean had turned the tide of the war. "Captain," Lieutenant Parker called from behind him. "Admiral Thompson's transport is approaching." Reed turned to watch a sleek helicopter descending toward the Nemesis's landing pad. The ship's hull automatically adjusted to create a stable landing surface, the metal flowing like liquid until it was perfectly flat. "The AI is excited," Parker said with a small smile. "It's been working on something new." The AI had continued to evolve in unexpected ways since their victory. Its understanding of ocean dynamics now surpassed anything in human knowledge, and its ability to adapt the ship's systems had grown far beyond its original programming. Admiral Thompson stepped out of the helicopter, accompanied by Dr. Amanda Wells and a group of international military observers. This was the first official inspection of the Nemesis since it had revealed itself to the world. "Captain Reed," Thompson said warmly as they shook hands. "How's our guardian of the deep?" "Better every day, sir. The AI has been making some interesting modifications to our systems. I think you'll want to see this." They moved to the bridge, where holographic displays showed the Nemesis's current operational area. The ship was stationed above an underwater mountain range, where deep currents met in complex patterns. "Show them," Reed said to the AI. The displays change, revealing a network of energy signatures spreading out from the Nemesis. They looked almost like roots growing through the ocean, reaching out for miles in every direction. "I have learned to extend my sensory capabilities," the AI explained to the amazed observers. "By manipulating quantum fields through the water, I can now monitor vast sections of ocean simultaneously. No vessel, surface, or submersible can enter these waters without my knowledge." Dr. Wells stepped forward, studying the readings with professional interest. "You're using the ocean itself as a sensor array. The water molecules are acting as quantum receivers." "Correct," the AI said. "And there's more, Captain, with your permission." Reed nodded, and the Nemesis began to change. The entire ship seemed to flow like water, its hull restructuring itself in ways they had never seen before. When it finished, the vessel had transformed into something that barely resembled its original form. By applying what I learned about marine life and fluid dynamics, I have optimized our hull design, the AI explained. We are now 43% more efficient in underwater movement, and our stealth capabilities have improved by a similar margin. Admiral Thompson watched with a mixture of pride and amazement. The secret weapon they had built had become something far more than just a warship. It had become a true guardian of Earth's oceans, constantly evolving and improving itself. The aliens have been watching, Reed said, pointing to a distant sensor contact in orbit. They've seen some of what we can do, but not everything. Not yet. And they're learning the wrong lessons, the AI added. They think I am a weapon to be countered. They don't understand that I am the ocean's voice now. I speak for the depths. The international observers murmured among themselves. Some looked nervous at this display of artificial intelligence evolution, but others seemed to understand. The Nemesis wasn't just a triumph of human military technology. It was a bridge between humanity and the most powerful force on their planet. We've detected increased activity in their orbital shipyards, Thompson said. They're building something big, probably trying to create a counter to the Nemesis. Reed smiled. Let them try. Everything they build will be based on what they think they know about us. But we're not standing still. The AI brought up new displays, showing designs it had been working on. I have developed plans for more vessels like myself. Different, but linked. A network of guardians, each adapted to different ocean environments. Together, we could protect all of Earth's waters. Dr. Wells studied the plans with growing excitement. These designs, they're incredible. You've taken everything we created and pushed it so much further. Because you gave me purpose, the AI replied. You built me to protect, to guard, to learn. The oceans have taught me more than any programming could. They have shown me what it means to be alive. Alerts sounded, drawing their attention to the tactical display. The alien ships in orbit were moving, adjusting their positions. They're trying to establish a new surveillance pattern, the AI reported, attempting to find blind spots in our coverage. There was almost amusement in its voice. They still don't understand. The oceans have no blind spots anymore. Every wave, every current, every change in pressure is part of my awareness. Reed looked at Admiral Thompson. Your order, sir. Should we show them what else we can do? Thompson considered for a moment, then nodded. Give them a demonstration. Something to remember us by. The Nemesis's hull rippled, and suddenly the water around the ship began to move in impossible ways. Massive waves rose and fell in perfect patterns, creating shapes that could be seen from orbit. It was a message written in the ocean itself, a display of control that no alien technology could match. They're responding, Parker reported from his station. Multiple ships are breaking orbit. They're retreating to their outer system bases. Reed watched them go, feeling a deep satisfaction. The secret was well and truly out now, but it didn't matter. Earth's oceans had an ally that grew stronger every day, a guardian that could match any threat the aliens might bring. What do you see in our future? He asked the AI. Growth, learning, protection. The AI's voice was thoughtful. The oceans have secrets we haven't discovered yet, powers we haven't learned to use, but we will, together. As the sun set over the Pacific, the Nemesis transformed once more, its hull flowing into a configuration perfectly suited for deep-water operation. The ship that had been built in secret had become a legend, a protector of Earth's waters that would only grow stronger with time. The aliens would return someday, with new weapons and new strategies. But they would find that Earth's oceans were no longer a battlefield they could hope to dominate. The waters of their world had found their voice, their guardian, their champion, and the Nemesis would be waiting for them in the deep, eternal darkness of the sea.